Hello, 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 and welcome to the Alert Factor. I am Nancy Alert. I am your host for the Alert Factor. I am a multi-family expert, licensed real estate agent with 27 years, licensed in Maryland, Virginia, and DC, and soon to be Dubai. So I'll be bringing that to you real soon. So the Alert Factor is everything about real estate, investing, financing, preparing yourself, getting yourself ready to get on that journey to create wealth, to leave a legacy, to buy a building, because that's what we're all about over here, buying buildings to create wealth and leave a legacy. So, last week, I told you about the new rule that will be November 18th, where everyone will be able to purchase a 3 to 4 unit with only 5% down, as opposed to the 25% that you had to put down before. So, November 18th, 2023 is the new rule. You're able to buy a multi-family unit, 3 to 4 units with 5% down. So if you have an FHA loan that you already have, it's okay because you'll be able to buy a conventional financing with only 5% down, and you can buy you another multi-family unit. And that you can live in one of the units and rent the other three, live in one, rent the other two. So you want to know more about that rule and how you can participate in any way, anywhere USA? Inbox me or send me an email, info@nancyalert.com or realestate@nancyalert.com. And of course, you can find me on social media, Nancy Alert on Instagram, Nancy Alert on LinkedIn, and Nancy Alert on Facebook. So I'm everywhere, Nancy Alert. So today we have an exciting show. We're going to be talking to you about investing. We're going to talk to you about insurance. We're going to talk to you about development. And we're going to talk to you about strategies, being strategic. We're talking to you about how you can get what you really want, determination, grit, because the two of us, myself and my guests that I have for you today, we're both immigrants and we both are getting it done. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage Miss Janice Jimenez.
Hi, Nancy. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness gracious. It's been a long time coming since, well, when we were in Pennsylvania. And
Yes.
now here we are. And then we have, opened up a lot of doors, just a simple conversation. I can't believe how many things we have in common. You're
I
my
know.
counterpart in the DC area. Girl, shoot.
I know. I was looking at your resume and I was like, oh my goodness, we have so many things in common. We're both immigrants. We came here, we're getting it done, we're working hard, right? Because, hey, we're working hard, we're working smart, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We have obstacles, but guess what we do? We overcome them and we go get it, you
Oh,
know?
yes, definitely. That's the story of our lives, girl.
And and this is why I always say women of color, their beauty is in their strength and their determination, right?
Yes,
That's what
absolutely.
that is. So let's get started. But you tell us a little bit about you, coming from the Philippines. You're Filipino. Tell us about you. You came here and you decided to do what?
Actually, real estate was far from my mind. I didn't even know anything about real estate. I came here, bright eyed, bushy tail, looking at
Mm.
the land of milk and honey. I was fresh out of high school. It's like, oh my God, I'm in America, right? You have
Right.
that honeymoon kind of vision, right? Like, oh, I'm here. And then reality sinks in. I'm like, oh, you're here. And then what? Right? So I didn't know exactly where I was supposed to go. All I know in my heart was my childhood dream was to become a pediatric cardiologist. I'm
Wow.
all about, the medical field. One of the first books that I read was my mom's drug book. She's a nurse, so I
Mm.
memorize medication, stuff like that. I'm kind of a nerd, you know. Um, and I've always been fascinated with the human body. So, I'm drawn into the medical field. Again, I guess because my mom was a nurse, but it's just my calling. So when I came here, guess what? When if you're a Filipina, you're an Asian, what's the road with least resistance is that going into the nursing field, right? So
Right.
did that, right? And then it's your basic run of the mill nursing job, 9 to 5. Actually, I did the night shift, at that
Mm.
time. But in the middle of that, I've always wanted something else. It's there's a burning desire inside of you that
Right.
it's almost like I don't see myself growing old, just going in my work and coming back home and doing the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
I mean, what's that? That's insanity, right? You do the same thing over and over and again,
And
expecting a
expect a
different
different
results,
result. Yeah.
right? So it's almost there's a seed. My mom planted that on me because she started having businesses when I was young.
Mm.
She was also working abroad in Saudi Arabia, so we had a little business in the Philippines. So I saw that growing up, like, it's really good to have your own business so you're not vulnerable to things outside of that, and you have income coming in regardless, right? So I've always wanted to have my own business, but I didn't know what. So as I was working as a nurse, I was always constantly searching for something on the side. I did MLM, direct sales. I did phone card. Would go to the boats when they dock, the military boats, and I'm like, you want to buy cell phone cards? I sold cell phones. I taught basic life support and advanced cardiac life support as a teacher.
Wow.
I did
Mm.
that. I sold Amways, microphones. It's just very,
So
very.
you did a number of multi-level
I
marketing in
I did,
addition to the
yes,
other stuff.
yes.
So
I
have
did all
I.
of that. Just trying to find what I am supposed to be doing. Like you're looking for that. And
Mm.
finally, at the when my daughter was born during the 2000s,
Mm.
we had a little house, and then it was time for us to upgrade because now I have
Mm.
a small child, right?
Right.
Um, I hired a broker, and
Mhm.
then and she said, okay, let's go list your house. And so, but at that time I was naive. I didn't know how to sell a house and all of that. I had no
Mhm.
knowledge of real estate world. But Nancy, oh my goodness, I think this lady, well, it's not, I know that this lady took really good advantage of me because she
Mm.
said, okay, let's list your house, Janice. But while I do that, you're going to need to move out of your house. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I just bought a brand new refrigerator because I breastfed at that time, so where am I gonna put my milk? I love that refrigerator. And then I said, where am I supposed to stay? And she said, I
Mm.
have an apartment that you can move into while I sell your house. So the little naive me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pack up my small child in an apartment, fourth level, no elevator, right,
Mm.
and a carport, and it was a small 2 bedroom. No, that was 1 bedroom apartment, and I had a 3 bedroom house,
Mm.
and with everything in it, all my
Right.
comforts and everything. So what happened was I found a brand new construction. So it's gonna take about 6 to 8 months for my new house to be built, right? So
Mm.
it's I have that time to sell my house so I can take that down payment and put it on the
Right.
brand new house. So naive me, okay, I packed up, moved onto the apartment. So now I have a mortgage to pay and an
And
apartment
rent.
rent,
And rent. Right.
right? So okay, and then I said, you know what? I wanted to go visit the house, right? Well, it's still taking a long time to sell. And then my house is beautiful with all kinds of,
Mm.
upgrades to
Mhm.
it, right? And it's taking time. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go visit my house. And come to find out, her brother was living in my house.
Ah, shut up.
Yes. So I didn't even know if she was showing the property, if she was selling the property. I never cared to check. I had no idea there was an MLS. I didn't know. There was a lot of things I did not know.
Did
And
you report her?
I did not. I did not. It was that was the turning point. The thing was like I know that one day, one way or another, God is gonna come back to her. She lost her license shortly after that, actually, because I wasn't the first victim. You know,
Oh,
yes. But here's the thing. She didn't have any decency or heart to imagine that I had a child. She was one. She's still in a car seat. She was little,
mhm.
but she's still in a car seat. Now, what my problem all the time, and this stuck to my mind. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of little problems, but what stuck to my mind, Nancy, was imagine me. I have groceries and
Mhm.
I have to take my baby in the car
Up to
seat up
four.
the fourth
Yeah.
floor. Now I have groceries, so when I come to my apartment, do I leave her there to get the rest of my groceries down,
Right,
or do I
right,
leave her in
right.
the car and get the groceries up
Oh
first?
my gosh. Wow.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's
Um,
mind-boggling how people live like that,
But
and I'm
people don't think about these things. And this is why, like you said, she did lose her license eventually because she didn't. When people do things like that, you know that you're not the first and you're not going to be the last until it is the last for her completely,
like,
right?
exactly.
Until she loses her license. So, was it the horrible job that she did and the fact that she was so unethical that made you want
Yes.
to become a realtor?
Yes. No, what I learned from that is I don't want other people to have the same experience as I did. So what I'm
Mhm.
going to do is to study, become an agent, and let this be a lesson. And I wasn't about the money. I was already a nurse. I was making, decent income. So what I wanted to do was just to make sure that my friends and family close to my circle don't experience that way, and spread the word out that this is not supposed to be what it is. There should be some sort of rules and ethics that should be followed. And of course, I found that out when I became an agent myself. And eventually, 2 years after that, I got my broker's license. And so, I guess because of how I was driving my business, and the underlying message was to give them a great experience, whether they're buying or selling. So my business just blew up. In the first few 2 years of my career, I would work with Century 21. I'm not sure if you remember that company. I was always the top three. Agent in the company, although they don't see me in the office because I'm always working during the night and then selling during the day. So, it was something I was doing on the side. It just kind of snowballed because I guess, people get radiated to me because they know that I had that experience to look back into to make sure that they don't experience the same way. So it's always service, driven for me. I always say now when I speak, it's, service first and success will follow.
All right, all right. So then you became a real estate agent. So you have a nursing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You have a nursing degree. You have a real estate license now, and you have a life insurance license, and you have an esthetician license. Girl, so you're doing real estate development, real estate sales, you have a mortgage situation. How did you move from I am going to get a real estate license so I can do a better job than old girl did in representing you to I'm going to create the Regal brand. I'm going to create the Regal brand, and the Regal brand includes mortgage, real estate, life insurance, beauty. Talk to me.
I've always been a person to think big.
Mhm,
I never really had that tunnel vision. I've always been in search for something bigger. And a
mhm.
lot of our experiences in life is preparing us for something big. And when I say experience, boy, I've got a lot to tell, but that's on the books and in writing. But I think if we all just stop and think of what has been given and shown to us right in front of us, the answer is there. So
Mhm,
when I decided I wanted to go into the real estate, I thought that was my mission, because
mhm.
first of all, that was not even in my dreams. That
Right.
I had no idea what real estate was. But to me, I think there was a fork in the road where I had to make a decision, and then God put that experience there so that
Mhm,
I would look at that angle and decide that this is what I want you to be doing. And so when I started doing that, and I knew in my heart earlier, I told you that nursing was not something I saw that I was going to retire from.
Right.
It was something that prepared me for something else, and that actually has another story on its own, why I became a nurse for 19 years,
Oh,
so
wow.
that's another story. It's mind boggling, and and it's really huge, but that's another, again, we've got many opportunities to do this podcast, and I'll tell that story another day. But there was a reason why I was supposed to be a nurse, and so on the other side of that, my huge vision is that I wanted to make sure that this client is taken care of the whole time, not just a transaction, not just one time. So how can I service this client for life? That was a big question. So I was very intentional from the beginning. So when I'm doing a real estate transaction, and I'm like, well, can I do the loan too? Because I hated when we, as a real estate agent representing a buyer,
No answers, no answers,
we
no
don't know what's
answers.
going on. It's like,
And
what in
why
the
do
world? Yeah.
Denise, why do we have to wait the day before settlement for the loan officer to tell us we're not going to settlement? Now, you knew before the day before or the day of settlement that we're not going to make it. Why
Yes.
are you waiting until the day before to tell me? You know.
Exactly. Yeah. So that, the control freak inside of me is like, no, that's not gonna, we're going to make sure that the timeline is followed. And if there was going to be questions or problems along the way, we'll tackle that, early on, so it's not on the last minute. Right. So that was something that then of course we got the mortgage thing. Then now we become a correspondent banker. So we also do in-house, and we also broker out
So
loans.
tell me how that works. What does it mean when you say you became a correspondent banker?
Okay, so there's two ways that you can process a loan. One is you become a loan officer has to be hang with a broker, right? A broker that
Like
does
real estate.
mortgage, right? So I'm both of them, loan officer and a broker. So I can broker out loans. I can call a bank and say, hey, can I get appointed with your bank so I can sell your loans? Say, our I'm not gonna mention company names, but say
Right.
a big XYZ bank,
Right.
and they pre-qualify me. They look at my background and all that. Okay, so you are a broker with us. So if they have a list of programs, then I can sell those programs to my clientele. But I am also bound by their rules and their criteria and all that stuff. So now, many years after that, again, as being intentional, I want to again to be able to control that, because I want to be able to say, if I have to lower this rate, or they have to lower this fee so that it can fit my client's
You'll be able
money
to do that.
budget,
Yeah.
how you understand what I'm trying to say, right? So I can kind of manipulate some numbers so that it can fit the mold,
And
right?
when you say manipulate, you're just saying that you're able to reduce your fees
Yes,
so
yes,
that it will work for the client at the end
exactly,
of the
because
day.
there are,
So if your fee, I'm just throwing numbers out, if your
yes.
fee is $5,000, that it is okay because you are the one that's in charge if you want to reduce it to $3,000 so that the deal can happen.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's what you call creative financing and
Exactly,
creative deal
girl. Yes,
structuring.
yes. So
Make the deal happen.
make
People
the
are
deal
so
happen. Yes,
concerned
yes.
most
And
of the
so
time.
being a banker, you have a lot of flexibility. It's not easy, you kind of have to go through the hole in the needle, to get to that. But once you get it, it's so refreshing to know that there's a lot of more things you can do for your clients at that point in time.
Yeah.
So what we have is a line of credit from an institution. It's like, okay, there's X number of millions you can use, to lend. So there are, again, more responsibilities with that, but I'm loving it, and
But at
then
least
now.
you're adding more, and this is the way
Sure.
you're able to say, because I tell people always ask, what is your value proposition? And I always tell people, my value proposition is me.
Yeah.
It's me, because what I bring to the table, just like what you're bringing to the table, because no other realtor is bringing the mortgage and the money and the creativeness, because you and I are very creative in deal structuring. That's why we get it done, right? In addition, I noticed that you're doing something exactly what I'm doing, and I want to ask you, what was the point and what was the reason why you added it? So for me, during COVID, I had some situations with my clients where one person had passed and the other could not continue to pay for the home, so had to sell it. So, and it happened twice during COVID. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is not going down on my watch. If I'm going to show you and I'm going to sell you one of the largest assets you have, I'm going to show you how to protect it. So it was during COVID that I got my life insurance license. And the reason I got it wasn't to run out in the streets and sell life insurance. The reason I got it was to protect my clients, to add another reason why I am the value proposition, right? This is, I'm going to sell you one of your largest assets and I'm going to show you how to protect it. So if one of the
Absolutely.
spouse pass or one of the owners pass, you don't have to sell the home unless you want to. You can remain in your home, because why? You have mortgage protection, and the insurance company is going to send you a check for you to do either pay off the house or go buy a multifamily unit if you can afford the house. That's all I'm saying,
Absolutely. So
right?
we're helping them with asset protection, and then you also help them with wealth management.
Exactly. So this is why I call myself now a wealth strategist, right? Because yes, I'm a real estate agent. Yes, I'm a life insurance agent. But what I am is that individual that's going to coach you and show you how you can truly create that lifestyle that you're supposed to be living. Let me show you how to manage what you already have. You don't have to go get anything else.
Yeah.
I'm showing you how to manage what you have a home. Get a mortgage protection. So if something happens, you are protected. You're leaving a home for your heirs, your children, get mortgage protections, because here's what's going to happen. This is how you're going to start with the generational wealth, because if they get a check for $500,000 and they can afford to keep the home that they have, guess what? They keep the home, which they still have the asset you left for them. They take that $500,000, you go buy one or two multifamily units, and those are for holding. You don't flip those, you hold them, you get a check every month for the rest of your life, and you pass it on to the next generation. And what have we done, Janice? We helped you create wealth, we help you live your best life
And a legacy for your
and a
family.
legacy. I love it. This is why I love the fact that we just met. I think, was it August? We just met in August, and I didn't realize how similar we are, and I love it. And then now we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking about the fact that we have so much in common. We're going to be going to Dubai. We're going to be speaking on the World Conference, the Women Economic Development Conference. We're going to be meeting princesses and prince and heads of states, and we're going to be making our mark in the UAE next week. Next week, we're going to be doing that. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about mortgage development, the insurance, and being a speaker on the world stage. So we'll be right back.
Today we're taking a little vacation on the west end of St. Croix, visiting a seaside restaurant called the Beachside Cafe here at Sandcastles on the Beach.
The atmosphere is just wonderful.
You just feel very welcome when you're here.
Hi.
I'd like to introduce Chris and Ted, who are the owners of Beachside Cafe and also Sandcastles on the Beach. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Sandcastle on the Beach is quiet and friendly, relaxing.
I often entertain guests, and this is the one place I always try to bring people.
Tell us a little bit about the hotel.
Well, the hotel is a 25-room hotel. We have 10 different room types within that We also have, of course, our greatest asset, the ocean out there, which our side of the island is very calm typically. So it's the best swimming beach and also great for snorkeling.
And just walking, doing a nice walking beach tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best beach access is right here, so we love them.
And we're also fortunate we have just up the way Sandy Point National Park, and then Frederickstead Town is just a mile away. And so we're really fortunate to be in this perfect spot.
Get up and get going with V Plus Energy. Challenge yourself and your friends to get up every day and get going. Grab your favorite V Plus flavor and tackle the day. Get excited and get energized with V Plus. It's made with 100% real fruits and veggies. There's no way you could crash, unlike other traditional energy drinks that you don't know what the hell is in there. Chemicals and other unpronounceable ingredients that you wouldn't give to your mama. Get V Plus. Healthy energy with none of the sacrifice. Get going at drinkvplus.com.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaw, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaw explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You are watching and listening to the Alert Factor, where we discuss everything real estate, some luxury lifestyle, investing, entrepreneurship, where to find that great investment property, how to buy a building. You know, we talk about it all here. Whatever you want to know, real estate related, and some sexy lifestyle too. We're here with Janice. Hey, Janice, welcome back. So, when we left off, we were talking about all the stuff you and I have in common. And I love it. I love it as a woman. And to see that you came from a different country, I came from a different country, and we came here and worked hard to get what we have. Not that there weren't challenges along the way, but we pushed through. We pushed through, and here we are. We're in the real estate industry. We're in the insurance industry. So basically, we're in the wealth management, wealth creating industry, right? And in addition to doing all of that, we're speakers, right? And we speak on these topics: insurance, real estate investing, how to create, right? That's what we do. We tell people, we show people how to do, how to get this. Because people are always saying, well, they got that because they had a lot of money, or they got that because they did this and they did that. Well, we got that because what?
We work hard.
We
No,
work
that's
hard.
not necessary. That's not necessarily true when they say that you have this because you have some type of advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in bankruptcy also, you know.
Hello? Do you know my story? This is how I started. I'm Nancy Alert. I'm a multi-family unit expert because I lost millions in the real estate industry, so you don't have to.
Right.
Remember
Yeah.
2008?
Yeah. Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, I went. Yeah, that was also the cause of my downturn, but that didn't mean that I'm gonna stop fighting for it.
Exactly.
You
Because
know.
what
So,
did we do? We failed forward, because what people don't realize, you can't really be successful if you didn't have any failures. Because
right.
you have to
Right.
learn from those to bring you to where you're trying to get to. And if you didn't learn anything, well, shame on you.
Oh yeah, it's part of the journey. You know, you can't be successful without failure, and the more failures you get, really,
It's
the
the
more
more
important.
successful you'll be,
Yeah.
because wasn't it KFC that tried what, it 99 times or 999 times? How many other times he tried with his recipe, and then that last time, if he had said no more? What about the light bulb? If Thomas Jefferson said, I'm not going to do this,
Yes,
and we would be in the dark right now.
we
We
would
would.
be in the darkness. You know, the three feet from gold from the Think and Grow Rich story. You know, so
Exactly.
yeah.
So I love this, and I love that about you. So what I would like you to tell me, so you're in California, right?
Yes.
And you have the Regal brand. That's your real estate company, and then you have some subsidiaries. That's all part of the Regal brand. So when you started the Regal brand, was it real estate first, or was it the insurance first?
It's real estate first, you know,
So it was
because
real
again,
estate,
that
then the mortgage, then insurance.
yes, it
Just
just kind of
stacking it.
trickle down because it's more like, okay, well, it it starts from the basic need that experience that I had, and I'm like, okay, let's start this. And I even didn't know that I was going to make my open my own broker brand, my office, because I just wanted to be an agent to make sure that this
Right.
doesn't happen to anybody else, you
Right.
know. And then I'm like, okay, but I want a little bit more control. And then it's like almost like a layered onion, you know. Every time you open something, you discover
There's
something,
more.
you
There's
know.
more.
So it's like, okay, so I can do this and I can do that, and it's all about, again, becoming somebody who is indispensable in their decision making process when it comes to asset management and even health, because I also have health insurance, and I'm still, you know, writing health policies for Medicare and individual families, but
Right.
only as needed, because I cannot spread myself too thin. I do have
Right.
people in my company that does that for us now, because I'm also very, very particular and meticulous on things too. So who I service are the actual clients that I already have, because I want to be able, you know, to just take care of them for the rest of their
Right.
lives and their children's lives and their, you know, families'
I
lives. So
love that, because that is exactly what I said when I added the insurance. It wasn't to add another business per se, where I'm out there looking for clients. It
yeah,
was for me to show my clients why they made the right decision
decision.
to
Yeah,
come to me, so that and I'm not a lawyer or
accountant.
accountant, but I play one on TV. That's what I tell my clients. I said, I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, but I play one on TV because I give them advice. However, I do say this is based on my experience. However,
Right.
I do want you to seek the professional in that field. But this is what you should be thinking about. Is every time I have a client that is single and have children, the first thing I start with them is, do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Do you have life insurance to take care of them should something happen to you? And so that's how I start with them. And that's how my clients know that I am for them. I'm all in them, protecting you, not just selling you a house. I could sell you a house any day, every day, but to make sure that you are good, that you're good. So when that person that called me a couple of weeks ago and said, Nancy, I am so happy that you told me. And I told her I didn't suggest, I told her to make
Yes.
sure make sure you get a trust. And if you don't like your sisters, put in there who you want to take care of your kids.
Correct.
Because if
Correct.
something happens to you, guess what? The person you don't want anything to do with your kids is probably the one that's going to be taking care of them. So
Yes.
I am glad that we're on that same page. So tell me, as a realtor, what is it that you do now? Are you more in the residential or the commercial space?
Well, I can do residential in my sleep.
Yeah, me too. The commercial is the big dog game. Yeah.
And then so now, we're recognizing the national housing shortage. And how we're going to tackle that is to give one family one home at a time. And there's not enough space, especially where I'm at in California and Nevada. Nevada is many space still, but in California, we
Yeah.
can no longer find any real estate to build on. So now we really think about moving upwards vertically, to get into
Exactly,
the
because there's no more land. You can't make any more land. The land is
yeah,
what the land is. So therefore, what is going to be important? Multi-family units.
exactly.
Multi-family units. You building them tall and high.
Yes, exactly. And so that's to me what would be an answer to most of the problems, especially in a very diverse and very crowded areas such as the metropolitan cities and in Los Angeles too. But also is encouraging people to take part in that, because now understand that you don't have to be wealthy. We don't have to have lots and lots of money to start investing in properties. So you can start investing with other people. So now you have more power, and then you can start building your net worth through there. And then one of these days, maybe you can get one of your own. But understand that even if you have small capital, you can take part on a bigger transactions. And so, that, and also have a lot more ROI for your money than trying to save something up and go one at a time, a single one at a time. It doesn't hurt to do that either, if that's your niche. But if you don't have plenty, then go with where most people go, pull your money together, and let's get into something that would definitely turn in 3 to 5 years period of time, and you can't rely on your 401k and your
Right.
stocks and, all of that other investment
Right.
buckets. And I'm not saying they're wrong or they're not, profitable, but I'm just saying if you want to really have something, number one is concrete and you can really drive up and see it. And number
Right.
two is that it's a proven method that a lot
Yeah.
of people have already tried, and the rate of failure on these types of investments is not up to chances or market or, God forbid, another pandemic. It's
Right.
not related
Right.
to, not directly proportional to that. It is,
Right.
we're always going to have somebody who's going to need a roof over their heads. So number one is a need. That's a basic hierarchy of need, is a house over somebody's head. So I firmly believe that that's where everything is going right now, with a
Well,
gap.
everything is going towards rental right now. And
Correct.
if
Because
I
now
like to tell people all the time, rents are going up. Since World War II, rents have gone up. Rents are continuously going up.
it will
When the
always go
interest
up.
rates are high and people are not buying, then they're going towards rent and the rents are going up. So here's the thing. we don't have a lot of land, so we can't build all these individuals. So we're going to be building multifamily units. That's what the future is. We're going to be building multifamily units. And to touch on something you just mentioned, which is coming together, crowdfunding, right? Coming together, syndications, making it work. So you may not have all the money to buy a 352 unit building, but you can come together with a number of people. I don't have enough money to buy a 352 building, but I own a
Right.
352 unit building with Grant Cardone and some other people. So putting your money together right now is one of the best things you can do. What do you say about the crowdfunding? And do you do that? Do you do syndications? Do you put these deals together where you have a number of people pooling money to buy a big building or a big project?
Yes, we just actually I partnered with my good friend Angelo Varsovia of the Varsovia Group of Companies, and we started the Regal acquisition. This was just a last couple of years, and we started buying multi-family buildings. And now we're opening that door up to most people who want to take advantage of that as well too.
Okay, so now you're looking for investors. Well, you open the
Yes.
door to investors.
Yes.
So are they accredited or unaccredited investors that you're looking to
Well,
get?
for right now, for what we have going, this going to be for accredited investors because they're larger, really large projects that we're working on right now. But I also have what we call the private investor loan program. So these are the smaller deals, making little deals happen. Normally, they're private investors to fund, say, a second mortgage, a down payment assistance program, stuff like that. But it's also secured by a real estate property.
Right.
So they're
right.
basically trust deed holders. So those little ones, I've done that even before this was a thing, So
Yeah.
20 years ago, I'm like, okay, I was already doing that, and
See, we are so similar because I was doing that like when a client inherited a property and it was going to go to tax lien sale. I paid
Yeah.
the tax lien
Yeah.
and then, of course, charged interest and points and then got paid at settlement when the property was
you look for
sold.
investors.
I mean, look, girl.
So I'm like, I didn't
Yes.
know it was a thing
It
until
was it's a thing. So it wasn't a thing until it became a thing. Because
thing.
it's sort of like we've been creative from day one. So the first property I bought was what they called contract for deed. Now you call it subject to, but it was contract for deed. The first two properties I bought was contract for deed. Just took over. I had this. The second one was this beautiful, gorgeous 3-level townhouse in Annandale, Virginia, and for some reason she could not sell this property to save her life. I don't know what happened. Um, and she owed 178, and it was a VA loan. And VA specifically says they will not call the loan, right? If you sell it to someone else that's not VA, and they didn't even have to qualify for it, right? So we took it over 178, and we had to get it out of our names in 2 years. And 2 years we couldn't get it out of our name, but we sold it
Yeah.
450.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was a thing before it became a thing, right? And that's what shows you that we have been in it, being creative, structuring things, because when people say, no, we can't do that, we figure out a way in how
Yeah.
you can do that.
We
You
would
know?
always look outside of the box, and that's what makes us different from any other, well, not any other, but most of the other institutions out there, because we don't look at our clients as numbers or
Exactly.
we look at you for who you are and what you bring to the table. And if you want something bad enough, I always just say, can you make it happen? I said, do you want it bad enough? Do you want it bad?
Exactly. When you look at it and people say, no, this can't happen. I was in a residential transaction a couple of years ago, and it's a newer building and it wasn't VA approved. And so I was working for the buyer. And so we told the listing agent, this is not VA approved. And then the first thing that came out of his mouth, okay, I'll send you a release. I'm like, you sound crazy. This is the property my client wants. So we're going to go and get the building VA approved. And
Yeah.
he was like, well, how do you do that? I said, don't you worry. We're going to get it done in 2 weeks. we
Oh,
got
that's
it done.
fast. That's fast.
We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it done
And
in
all
2 weeks, and my client settled on time, and I became the GOAT to him. That's
yeah,
what he calls me.
yeah. Yeah, it happens all the time, even in just the HUD approved and FHA approved buildings. That also happens, So I had a similar situation there also a couple of years ago where the building was not FHA approved, and
Mhm.
so it was a whole mess. I mean, it did create a little bit of a delay because it's not as fast. Their financial statements were all over the place, but at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we got the condo approved. So,
See, and that's because we did our job, right? I love it. So you have a mortgage situation where you can help people get loans. You can deal with residential. You work mostly with creating the big deals in the commercial and doing syndications and putting big deals together. So let the audience know where and how they can reach you if they're in California or Nevada wanting to get involved in this real estate game, insurance, whatever. How can they get in touch with you?
it's very, very easy. It's JaniceJimenez.com is where they can find all kinds of information about me. All the contact information is there. But they can also dial 1-833-33 Regal. 1-833-33 Regal. You'll speak to one of my agents there. And then if you want to really get a hold of me, just tell them and I'll pick up the phone for you. I'm
Mhm.
always very personal. Once I get to know you as a client or a friend, you will get my direct number. You can text me anytime. I barely sleep. That's what they people ask me. But you know what? If you need me, I'm here. And if I'm not available, I'll call you in a little bit. Maybe somebody's calling me right now, but I'm just on the Nancy. But I'll give you a call in a little bit. I'm always, always wanting to make sure that I touch people, and if they need me, I'm here. If they don't, then that's okay too. There is nothing coincidental about us meeting people. They have one way or another a role to play in our lives, whether that's good or bad. I call them directional arrows for our lives.
Yes.
So
Directional arrows.
directional arrows. You just gotta go there or go there or go forward, go backward. It's never a bad experience, although they're disappointments. There could be, which is be a touch. It would be a simple hi, hello. I meet this person and then I'm introduced to the other person. There's gotta be a reason, because I believe that nothing is coincidental. It's always going to be a reason. And that's in the Bible too, Corinthians, for
All right.
everything there is a season.
My sister in Christ. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, what if there's one advice you would give to a new or seasoned investor, but maybe probably a new investor?
If you're a new investor, get with somebody who knows far better than you do. Okay. Don't go out there and say, I'm going to try this. I can do this on my own. Never overestimate what you know, because even a seasoned investor makes mistakes. And that's how, we learn to also make sure that it doesn't happen again in the future. But, number one is don't overestimate what you know, and then number two is just do it. If you think you're ready for it, and you're never going to be 100% ready. It's like planning for a child. Oh, I'm going to be ready next year. I'm going to be ready next year. You know what? If
You're never ready.
you're going to learn how to be a parent. And so when you're thinking of becoming an investor, go seek somebody who knows what they're doing. That's first, because mentorship is gold, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely mentorship is important. Seek somebody that is doing
what it is
you
that you
want
want
to
to
do,
do.
that they're doing it well. Whatever it is you want to do and they're doing it well, seek them out. See if you can be a protege. If they want to mentor you, you can shadow them. And know that you don't know everything.
No, that you don't know. And you
You
know what?
don't know actually anything.
One
Okay?
of my mentors always say, don't listen to your broke friends.
Can you say that again? Do not listen
to your broke friends.
Exactly, because there's always that one individual doesn't have what you have, isn't trying to get what you're trying to get, and is afraid to do the things that is required to get where you want to go, but they got all kinds of advice for you. They in their little cushy job, right? They're in their cushy job where they're getting a check every day, regardless of if they go to work. But yet they want to tell you, who is out there, a true entrepreneur, living that 100% commission life every day. They want to tell you how to do you. You know what I say to those people? Remember the last time I asked you how to live my life? Yeah, me neither. Because I didn't ask you. Exactly, exactly. So, one of the things that I would say to an investor would be, or anyone that's starting a business, TV is not your barometer. Because I love HGTV. I've been featured on HGTV, right? I've been featured on HGTV. But what I'm going to say to you is, man, it's not that easy flipping a property, okay? Because you don't know what half the stuff that comes up. The
And those are
permits taking too
scripted.
long.
Those are scripted. People think that they're real. They're scripted.
You cannot decide, I'm going to go become an investor flipping property based on what you see on HGTV. Use it as maybe some information, and then you take it next level and get an
Inspiration.
additional information. But because you're going to get yourself into trouble, you want to make sure, more importantly, too, is that all realtors are not created equal, meaning that most realtors are residential realtors and they're able to find you your forever home, the one that you love. You're going to raise your family there, and you feel like you're going to die if you don't get that home, right? And then you're going to cry. There's no crying in real estate investment. And then there are the realtors that work with investors when it's all about the numbers. It's about your return on investment, your return on the relationship. It's about when you're going to make the money, how much money you can make, what the projections are. It's about that. And not all residential realtors can do that. So if
Correct.
you're an investor, you need to find an investor friendly realtor.
Right, right. And then also know that not every investment pans out also. So it's still an investment. You guys, if you think that once you go into something like this, you're gonna make a whole lots and lots of money right away, it is still an investment. So this is just a friendly advice, and a reminder that we are still investing. This is not 100% sure proof you're gonna make twice, 3 times, 10x your money. It is still an
Exactly.
investment, but it's just a safer type of investment. And once you get a mentor, once you get the hang of things, once you learn the ins and outs of the business, you are just getting your risk lowered. You're calculating your risk, and and making sure that you don't make the mistakes that most newbies or most of the
Right.
people make when they're thinking that they can do it by themselves. But always,
Right. And the investment is based on your risk tolerance
correct.
also, right?
Mhm.
Because some people are more risk
Agree?
and some people are risk avoided,
Yeah.
right? They don't want any risk. So then you get that secure because real estate is secure. However, it's still an investment. It's like the stock market. Every 10 years you have some hinge effect that will affect it positively or negatively. In 2020, we had the hinge effect, which was COVID, and it actually affected it positively. Who knew?
Positively. You'll never know
Who
how it's
knew?
going to go. Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's still going to be an asset that could continue to accumulate at the on overtime. So
Right.
there's always that even if you don't touch it, you'll know for the
Mhm.
fact that over the years that
Mhm.
property, even if it's just sitting there, unless something tragic happens to it, will still make you some pretty
Right.
penny once the time the time turns.
But the thing to remember is you have to be in it to win it,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So you
absolutely.
have to participate. You have to participate. This has been so fantastic. I truly enjoyed the hour with you, Janice. I am looking forward to seeing you in Dubai next week. And we're going to do a live from Dubai. We're going to do a live from Dubai. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you for visiting with us today. You guys, you've been watching and listening to the Alert Factor. I'm Nancy Alert. I see you every Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're getting it done. See you next time.